So Canada is looking to implement an internet kill switch to anyone who dares to make fun of politicians. We have this from the website Bomb Thrower. I actually saw this on Zero Hedge and it forwarded me to this site. The title of the article says Canada to censor political taunts, implement internet kill switch. This is a really interesting story because you have the same exact thing happening in the United States, and Tucker Carlson actually reported on it during his open last night. And it has to do with AOC, and she denies it. But we have a story coming out of the United States where someone taunted AOC, and we ended up having police show up at this guy's house. Looks like we have policy now along the same lines as to what's happening in the United States that is being implemented in Canada. Fascism in Canada, fascism in the United States. Guys, that's what it looks like from the outside. But let me know, anyone on the inside, what it's like. We have here from this article, and I'll read it out to you guys. It says, a colleague forwarded me the text of an article from a Black Rocks reporter, which covers Canadian politics from Ottawa, our capital. It's a report on Federal Heritage Minister Stephen Guilbeault's ongoing vendetta against non-conforming political speech on the internet, in which he's calling for censorship of hurtful comments against politicians and implementation of an internet kill switch to facilitate it. Wow. All right. So basically, if you make fun of Justin Trudeau, they're just going to switch off your account? Switch off your internet if you're making fun of Justin Trudeau, or switch off the site or the profile where they're making fun of Trudeau? I don't know. Let's read on here. Black Rocks is behind the paywall. Permit me to quote it here. Quote, federal internet censors should target hurtful words against politicians, says Heritage Minister Stephen Guilbeault. The minister added, pending regulations may include an internet kill switch to block websites deemed harmful, but called it a nuclear option. Just the fact that he's even mentioning it is troubling enough. So he calls it a nuclear option, but he's talking about it. You know how politicians act, guys. You know how they operate. The minute they start to throw this stuff out there, they start with, oh no, we'll never do that. That's a nuclear option. That's too extreme. And then, 6 months later, there you are. You have an internet kill switch on websites that are deemed hurtful. I'll bet you Twitter, Facebook, and all those sites won't get killed. I'll bet you conservative accounts will get the kill switch on those websites. And they already are to an extent, but now you're going to have legislation in Canada that'll make it instantaneous and super easy to do. So if someone makes fun of Trudeau on YouTube, like we do many times, then you're going to just, boop, kill it. Kill switch. Won't be able to be viewed in Canada. I guess that's the plan. Now, as far as websites go, well, this is a great way to just remove all of the websites that criticize the Trudeau government. That's it. Make fun of Trudeau, kill switch, done. So the fact that he's throwing it out there means that it's most likely coming. They always operate like this, the politicians. They boil the frog. Here it comes, Canada, an internet kill switch. Anyone that makes fun of Trudeau, you're going to get nuked on the web. That's how it works. There was a time when they would say, no, we would never do lockdowns, never. Flatten the curve, 2 weeks, flatten the curve. Quote, this is a quote here from Guilbeault. We have seen too many examples of public officials retreating from public service due to the hateful online content targeted towards themselves or even their families, says Guilbeault. I have seen firsthand alongside other Canadians the damaging effects harmful content has on our families, our values, and our institutions. As a dad and a stepdad to 6 kids, I know more can and should be done to create a safer online environment. So this is how he plans to do it, Mr. Guilbeault, by giving more power to himself. And who's going to judge if this content was harmful? Who's going to be the judge of that? And in which direction is this harmful content and this kill switch going to move towards? I'll put money it'll move in a conservative, libertarian, patriotic direction. That I can guarantee. But here's Guilbeault once again, coming out with the excuse that people who have less power than him, people who have less power than Trudeau, are the ones that should be silenced. The people that are punching up, the people that have all the power and all the money are the victims. This is the narrative of 2021, guys. People that are powerful with all the money, they're the victim class now. They're the victims. It's incredible. This is incredible stuff, man. Where do these guys make this crap up? Guilbault made his remarks in a podcast sponsored by Canada 2020 in Ottawa think tank affiliated with the Liberal Party. Legislation to censor internet content will be introduced shortly, he said. I am confident we can get this adopted, said Guilbault. Once the legislation is adopted, clearly creating a new body, a new regulator like that in Canada would take some time. There you go. More government, more regulators, more silencing of speech, more protecting of the government, more fascism. More fascism. Here it comes. All right, let's see what else this article says. The goal is obviously to silence non-conforming content. Absolutely. That is without a doubt the goal of this Trudeau initiative. Under this plan, it will still be perfectly fine for political apparatchiks to hurl insults and ad hominem attacks at constituents, raising legitimate issues with their MPPs. But under these impending new regulations against political taunts and even unlicensed internet undertakings, my write-up on the entire incident or even my commentary on the proposal here might land me afoul of the new rules. Yeah, the fact that you're writing this would mean that they can implement their kill switch on your website, bombthrower.com. You could be censored in Canada just for reporting this because it may be deemed hateful. And you have kind of the same thing going on in the United States. You have this from the Gateway Pundit. Police officers pay visit to home of anti-war activist over Harmless tweet criticizing AOC. So this has not been, this type of idea in Canada that's going to become policy very, very soon has not reached that level in the United States yet. But in the US, you still have big tech that is, banning people at the behest of the Democrat Party, or maybe the other way around. I don't know. Either way, they're working hand in hand, and they're banning people who dare to speak out against the woke Democrat ideology, the neoliberal ideology. But now they're taking it a step further, and they're actually sending police officers to people that dare speak out against people holding office, like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And this has to do, this is an interesting story, this has to do with the fact that she gave an interview where she was asked a question about the problems between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and she gave this brain dead answer, which you couldn't even call an answer, to be quite honest. But and what more can you expect? This probably wasn't in her script, because we all got to remember, let's not be too hard on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We all got to remember that she is just playing a part. She's simply an actress playing the part of a congresswoman. That's what she's been commissioned to do. That's why she was put there. She's playing a part. She's an actress. So maybe this just, slipped under the radar of the script writers. I don't know. Maybe they weren't doing their job when they were prepping the questions during this interview. Who knows what happened? But either way, this was a question that obviously Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wasn't able to read the night before as she was preparing her role in answering these questions during this interview, and she just completely looked exactly as one would expect her to look when trying to answer a very complicated and difficult question like what's going on in the Middle East. So someone on Twitter, this guy Ryan Wentz, who's actually a progressive anti-war liberal, criticized her answer. Didn't criticize her, criticized her answer. And what do you know? Capitol Police sent police officers to his LA home. So the Capitol Police, I guess all those thousands of policemen that are protecting the Capitol and the National Guard and all these people, they actually sent police officers to his home in LA. Unbelievable, huh? AOC has denied any involvement. However, many are asking who initiated the phone call to the Capitol Police. So this guy Wentz said that he's, I'm really shaken up right now. I was just visited by 2 plainclothes police officers from California Highway Patrol at my home. They said they came here on behalf of the Capitol Police and accused me of threatening AOC on Twitter yesterday. This is provably false. So here he shows the card of the California Highway Patrol that visited him after he sent a tweet where he criticized, not AOC, her response to the question about Israel and Palestine. Wentz never threatened AOC, and he has never threatened a member of Congress. And he says here, I assume this is the tweet they are talking about, where I lightly criticized AOC for a disappointing answer in response to a question about Palestine-Israel. On April 1st, AOC did a live stream with Michael Miller, the head of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. She was asked about peace between Israelis and Palestinians. Her response was incredibly underwhelming, to say the very least. So I won't play the video, guys. I'll put a link to this Gateway Pundit article down below. You can hear AOC's just mumble and bumble when she tries to answer this question. And I think it really exposes AOC. It definitely exposes her true intellect, which I'm sure you guys can take a guess at. But I'll put a link for that down below so I don't get any strikes, because they're coming down hard on my channel. And anyway, this is a tweet he sent out. He doesn't even criticize AOC. He says her response was incredibly underwhelming, to say the very least. That's what he tweeted. Her response was incredibly underwhelming, to say the least. And for that, he had police sent to his house. He had the Capitol Police call the Highway Patrol to go to his house. Wentz said the police intimidated him and he feels violated. I'd really appreciate it if AOC could look into this. I recognize she probably receives a lot of threats, but I shouldn't be harassed by police for critiquing her politics. I frankly feel very unsafe in my home right now. So then he says, a spokesperson for AOC says they did not report this post to the police and have asked for answers from Capitol Police. Not at all, but when we saw this tweet last night about being visited, we asked Capitol Police to look into what happened here. The very least AOC could have done is apologize. And she should have tweeted. She has 11 million followers. How come she didn't tweet and say this is outrageous that police came to visit this guy because of an interview I did? But she didn't do that. She had a spokesperson, which pretty much means she doesn't give a flying F. That's what it means. And it means they're all in on it. She's being protected. Either she called them or people just took the initiative. The police state took the initiative to go after this guy. In other words, they're monitoring all the tweets. They're surveilling everything that's being said about Democrats, Congress people, Republicans as well. Who knows? They're monitoring all the tweets that are being said, and even the slightest bit of criticism, they're going to send someone to come after you. That's the way it looks. So even if AOC didn't order this is extremely troubling. If AOC did order this, it's extremely troubling. Either way, it's all bad. All bad. Yeah. All right, guys. That's the video. That's the news out of Canada. That's the news out of the United States. Go to the Duran shop, pick up a mug right here. You'll find the link down below. Take care.